be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, he promised us, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. See? That's what we look for. That's why I say, you burn them up, it tells us, and we have our new moon feast. Always remind you of the kingdom. So let's look at the kingdom at this time, because people that don't want to honor the new moons and so forth, that's what we're going to do in the kingdom. We rehearse it right now. Judges 5:11 says so. Isaiah 66:22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make. So he got to make a new heavens and new earth. Shall remain before me, said the Most High, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, this is new heavens, new earth, from one new moon in the kingdom to another, and from one Sabbath to another, and shall all flesh come to worship before me, said the Most High. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched. And they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. You got to see this. We say America gonna burn forever. We're gonna look over there and see that. Most likely make sure that we see the men that have transgressed the laws of the Most High gonna burn forever, and their worm never gonna die, it says. Because remember, the Most High got us, he got a immortal body. Don't get it twisted. He got one for the righteous, and he got one for the wicked. That's going to burn forever. Like I said, what did it say? It says, neither shall the fire be quenched. It says, for the worm shall not die, neither shall the fire be quenched. See? For the worm shall not die, the worm's not going to die. And the fire's never going to be quenched. That's forever and ever and ever. That's why it behooves everyone that hear my voice to try and come back to the law, such commandments of the Most High. Let's go to the book of Daniel's. Daniel's. He prophesied about the end times. Look at Daniel's 12:2. What we just read about. When you meet the judgment seat of Mashiach Yahushua, remember it says you can be judged whether you have done good or bad. Right? So look at Daniel's 12:2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, like Job was saying. You know, though the worms eat his body, he know that he have a body that the Most High have in heaven for him, to wake him up out of the dust of the earth. It says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting light, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. See? That's why it tells you, Israel, go to Revelation 20, this is judgment, and 12. Verse 20 and 12, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High. Well, I'm not sure I'm saying the books were open, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. There's books, and there's the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books. I mean, everything that we do is being recorded in books in the fourth dimension, where the Most High and the angels dwell, according to their works, according to what you have done in these mortal bodies. And we said whether it's good or bad, righteous or evil or wicked. And the sea, verse 13, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they would judge every man according to their works. See? But it was good or bad. Listen. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Listen. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So your name not written in the book of life, you're going to be cast into the lake of fire. You got a choice to choose life or death. That's what this is right here. Ain't nothing changed. You got an opportunity to live forever, have immortality, or be thrown right here. Your name not written in the book of life, you're going to be thrown in the lake of fire. It says, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Period. That's it. You finished. So all of this are not going to be saved. All is a certain number. Don't believe that. So let's say, look at Revelation 19 and 20. Look at 19. Revelation 19:19. I saw the beast and the kings of the earth, America and all the kings of the earth, and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, Catholic Church, and all these different pagan religions that's dealing with idolatry, that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that have received a mark of the beast, and them that worship his image, Caesar Borgia, and all the different things that you can think of and can't think of that they trying to do, have you worship them. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. See? All the birds going to be eating up the slain that he's going to kill. You see a sword flowing from his mouth. And we know, say, all the armies and everybody going to be gathered together to fight him. We know the end result. This should be clockwork for you at this time. All you gotta do is listen at these precepts. 2nd Ezra 13, get right to the point. Verse 9. I'll read verse 8. There might be someone new that's listening. But you can read the whole thing down from 1 to see that all the armies, as he just said, when we gathered together to fight Mashiach Yahushua and the angels. So 2nd Ezra 13 and 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, we just read in Revelation 19, were so afraid. They're going to be afraid and yet does fight. They're going to be afraid, but yet they're going to fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came with their army, navy, and marines, and air force, all the ordnance that they have to fight him, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, and only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as you just said. Out of his mouth, out of his mouth roared forth what? A sharp sword. Verse 21 of Revelation 19. And the remnant were aflame with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, was the Mashiach Yahushua, which sword proceeded out of his mouth. and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. See? So this is one part of how he's going to get rid of all the security that you think you have in this world. 2 Ezra 13 and 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth. What's coming out of his mouth? That sword is this. As it had been a blast of fire. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire and the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. And burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Ezra seen this vision, so he was afraid, seeing all of them being burned up. Nothing to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. Oh yeah, that scared him. So when we looking at, hey, what are we precepting? Y'all, none of y'all might have forgot. We still precepting the fact of what it said in Job 20. And 7. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Verse 9. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. See? That's as far as we got. So we going into precept upon precept. Precept upon precept. Line upon line. Line upon line. Here a little, and there a little. See? Go to Obadiah. When where all this was taking place. Obadiah. The 10th verse. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Esau, fraternal twin brother, Esau this. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. See? In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. Thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldst thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldst thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. See? What they do, you can look at First Ezra 4:45 in the Apocrypha. We went into captivity for 70 years under the Babylonians. What they did. Our big brother, right? Yeah. First Ezra 4:45. Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees. See? Chaldees are the Babylonians. They came into power. And Esau have taken up the same ways as the Babylonians in that kingdom. That's why it says, hey, it was like one of them. They burned down our temples. It's like they did the Moors. They ruled Spain for about, 700, 800 years, not more approximately. And when it's time for them to come down, they burnt their ships, and they went to their house and said, hey, run to your ships. You couldn't go nowhere. Because they had burnt their ships, they couldn't leave. Jealousy, man. I mean, this is what we've seen all throughout our story. And when they came back to their home, they'd burn them down and cut their heads off and put them on stakes, man. That's his story. That's why I said, Obadiah 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Go to Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2, the second chapter. Ain't many prophets, they all talk about this. They prophesy about the end times. It didn't happen during that time. Wicked Israelites, God them will put to death. But we can look at the volume of the book and see how all this correlates together. Habakkuk 2. It says, Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. See, but his soul is lifted up in pride. They tell you they're the first nation of the enemies and haters of the Most High in Psalms 83rd chapter. The head honcho. Yet also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, he that keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell. Everywhere he goes is like hell, and is as death. He brings forth death. Who is it that bound people? And so forth. It says, and cannot be satisfied. He satisfied nowhere he goes, but gathereth unto him all nations. Now you know this is them, the great melting pot right here in America. Gathered unto him all nations. Come on to America, and heapeth upon him all people. See? Listen. Verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and a weight that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. He's telling you why. Because you have robbed many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. It said, woe, destruction to him that covereth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, live larger than everybody else, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house. He says, shame on you, by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. So you cut off, look, how many people you had to kill to get the land of America? The native people that was here. Millions upon millions. Verse 12. Woe, destruction to him that buildeth a town with blood. I mean, how you get America? With blood of the indigenous 9.5 tribes over here. And Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And slavery and so forth. Woe, destruction to him that buildeth a hard town with blood, and establishes a city by iniquity. Look at all the wickedness and laws that you pass that's against the laws of the Most High. Behold, is it not for the Most High of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity? For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Most High, as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him that giveth their neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. I mean, come on, how many times that happened? Y'all got the date rape, drugs and so forth, and all kind of manners you expose in this world too. Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Most High's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. It's not gonna get you. With his right hand of Mashiach Yahushua, he coming to judge and make war. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of beasts which made them afraid because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land and of the city and all that dwell therein. See? What profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof have graven it? Like we said, what profiteth Caesar Borgia to you now, or your sorceries, or all the things you believe in that's dealing with idolatry? The molten image and the teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusteth therein. to make dumb idols. See? What prophet's going to do you when all these prophecies are coming to be? Say, woe, destruction unto him that said to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. But the Most High is in his holy temple, that all the earth keeps silence before him. Shut your mouth before the Most High. Our power, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the power of Yahweh. Our power. Yes. So, this is the conclusion of the whole matter. Look. Oh. Look at Habakkuk 3. It's talking to the proud one, the most proud one, the Edomites. Look. Verse 11. Habakkuk 3 and 11. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear. That's these missiles that's going to be shot into the end of the world. Thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger. Hear that? Destroying them. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people. This is all for the salvation of the 12 tribes of Israel. Even for salvation with thine anointing. Thou wounded the head of, thou wounded the head out of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck, all the way up to your neck. Thou didst strike through with thy staff the head of his villages. They came out as a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly. So that's what they're doing. Plotting on the poor. But the Most High said he came out strike by staves the head of his villages. See, thou didst walk through the sea with thine horses, through the heat of great waters, the great ships. When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. With his troops? What troops? Revelation 9:16 says he coming with 200 million angels. That's his troops. He's going to invade them with his troops. So it says in Revelation 13, 9 and 10. Revelation 13, 9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So they have led into captivity, so they're going into captivity. That's why it tells you all. Galatians 6 and 7. Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, whatever you bring forth, that shall he also reap. So we brought forth as the 12 tribes of Israel, not following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. So we got punished by slavery, captivity, and bondage. He told us he's going to do it to us. So At this time, everybody had the Bible. It's in mostly all languages, so there's no excuse for no one. To hear my voice and know that you should come back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You want to be wicked, then the Most High going to deal with you. What is it? His indignation, wrath, and woe. Point blank. See? Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. We ain't mocking the Most High. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Colossians 3:25. Colossians 3:25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of persons. So ain't nobody getting away with nothing. Everybody got to pay. We had to pay, so now you gonna have to pay. That's just the way it is. Lamentations 4:22. Lamentations 4:22. Lamentations 4:22. It says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. So our punishment is accomplished, he's saying. But Zion represents the 12 tribes of Israel. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. This is where we are now. In captivity, it's talking about. But what he's going to do, he will visit thine iniquity, your wickedness, O daughter of Edom. He's going to visit the iniquity of the Edomites. He will discover thy sins. See? So he's going to discover your sins, how you have transgressed against the Most High's law. That's why you look at Revelation 18:4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, what? Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. That's why we got to come out of the mindset. Remember, it said, those that join them shall fall by the sword too. So you got to come out of the mindset. You can't take the mark of the beast. That's a mindset, people. Because your mind going to have you to do whatever it is that they want you to do, to accept whatever it is they want you to accept, to send you to hell with them. Or with whoever. Listen, Most High said, I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. See? You say you're going to discover their sins. You say that you be not partaker of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Listen, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. See? Her sins have reached unto heaven. The fourth dimension, the Most High remember her iniquities. Amos 9 and 8. Most High remember her iniquities. You want to know how it's going to be done? There's so many scriptures pertaining to it. But Amos 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Most High are upon the sinful kingdom. That's America. And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Remember, ain't going to be nobody here. It's going to burn forever. So we just heard already, he's going to destroy from on the face of the earth. Saving, you're going to save somebody that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. You're going to destroy 2/3 of our people, said the Most High. So I say you're not going to utterly destroy the house of Jacob, the family of Jacob. Who lives in the house? Family. Family of Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. For we scattered among all nations. Like corn is sifted in a seed, yet shall not the least, which is the 1/3, grain fall upon the earth. 1/3 is not going to fall upon the earth, because he's going to lift us up into the chariots. When the Mashiach shall come and take that hour and destroy these kingdoms on this earth, these heavens on this earth. Listen, verse 10. Israel, all the sinners, those that have transgressed the laws of the Most High of my people, shall die by the sword. You know that sword, Mashiach Abishai gonna be burning people up out of his mouth. Come forth that sword, fire and brimstone, so forth, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. See? All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So what are they really saying? They sinners already, so the Most High gonna bring evil upon you. That's what he does. Look, Isaiah, but he's talking about the children of Israel. Isaiah 45 and 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Most High, do all these things. So when you sin, the Most High bring evil. He do all that thing. He bring it to the righteous. He bring it to the sinners in these last days. It's the last time. He give us a chance to get it together. So all the people that say, hey, the Most High can't touch me, and you sinning, he gonna bring evil against you. You see what he did to Job? Perfect man, shoot evil. Following the laws, touch commandments of the Most High. So it's all here. You gotta recognize people. That's why I say come out of her. Come out of that mindset. The way you think. Stop thinking that way. Stop being ignorant to its devices, y'all. Go to 2 Thessalonians, 2nd chapter. Second Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. And look at verse 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Most High shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. See? And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. See? You see what's coming out of Mashiach Abishai's mouth over and over again. You see the same thing. Mashiach Abishai will consume them with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. But remember, Mashiach Abishai coming in the power of the Most High. So the Most High is there with him to bring that power against them. And we say he's going to discover the sins of the Edomites. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. See? Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. See? And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness, and them that perish. Why? Because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. See, they're going to perish because they receive not the love of the truth. We got to go to what this truth is. And let's look at it real quick. Psalms 119, 142. They receive not the love of the truth. What is the truth? Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So you can replace the law with the truth here. Look, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, they don't be destroyed. Why? Because they receive not the love of the laws of the Most High. To do the laws of the Most High, that they might be saved. So how are you going to be saved when you got somebody telling you got to follow the truth, which is the laws of the Most High? And y'all talking about y'all saved, that they might be saved. You know what being saved is? Go to Luke 168. This is being saved, 168 to 71. That they might be saved. Ain't no guarantee. Might is not a guarantee. But you might be saved, it said. Luke 168. Blessed be the most high power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, who are the children of Israel, and have raised up an horn of power of salvation for us, the children of Israel, 12 tribes of Israel, in the house of his servant David, who is Mashiach Yahushua, who came of the seed of David. That's why I said in Hebrews 7:14, for it is evident of fact that our power sprang out of Judah, just like David came out of the tribe of Judah, Jacob's fourth-born son. You so-called Negroes out there, who we are. It says, as he spake by the mouth, verse 70, of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we, 12 tribes of Israel, should be saved from our enemies. Just being saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. See? That's being saved. So going back to 2 Thessalonians 2. In verse 10. And with all the singleness of unrighteousness. That's not following the laws of the Most High. And them that perish, man, you're going to die. He going to kill you because they receive not the love of the truth, the love of the laws of the Most High, that they might be saved. For this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned. See? They believe in a lie that they all might be damned, who believe not the truth, who believe not that we under the laws of the Most High. We got to follow his rules and regulations. You hear what he say? They might be damned, who believe not the truth, which is the law, such commandments of the Most High, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. Let you know, hey, you have pleasure in unrighteousness, means you're not following what's right or righteous in the eyes of the Most High. His laws, such commandments, makes you righteous. He gave us moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. That's the moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and civil laws. Ceremonial laws. And sacrificial law. But we know the sacrificial law was done away when they said we're not under the law. We're not under the sacrificial law. That's the only law that was done away with, that we're not dealing with. We got to be the sacrifice now ourselves. Verse 12, that they might be damned who believe not the truth, who believe not the laws of the Most High, his rules and regulations, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. So you're going to be damned. You better believe it. All the wickedness that you're doing and thinking you're going to get away with it, you ain't get away with nothing. It's all here, people. Mashiach Yahushua told us in Matthew 20:24. Matthew 24 and 12. Well, let's read verse 11 first. He said, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. See? Many false teachers, many false ministers shall arise and shall deceive many. Remember, they shall believe they will be with strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. That's what it says. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity, wickedness, and sins shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. People cold-blooded. Because of all the iniquity that's in the world today. But listen, but he that endure until the end, the same shall be saved. The same shall be saved. Verse 22. He said, except those days should be shortened, and the Most High didn't shorten the days, before salvation is coming to the 12 tribes of Israel to set righteousness up on this earth, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, the elect of the Most High, the 12 tribes of Israel, those days shall be shortened. See? The days going to be shortened for the elect's sake. So let's continue. And I think that's enough. How he's going. We already kind of went. Now we're going. Like you say, he's gonna fly away. I got to go to one more. Let's go to. Let's see. Where we at? I'm gonna bring some to attention that we looked at previously. Look at go back to Job 20. We know why we were precepting all this that we went over. And precepting just now. Job 20 and Job 20 and verse 9. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. Right? Verse 7. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yet he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. So that's why we went to Isaiah 13:14 says, when he chased like a chased roe. So now, when you go to Obadiah, once they have served 1,000 years in captivity, slavery, and bondage in a righteous kingdom, and it says in Obadiah, so you know, verse 1 says, the vision of Obadiah, thus say the Most High Power, concerning Edom. So it's concerning Edom, Edomites. Verse 18. Well, I'll read verse 17. It says, but upon Mount Zion, which are the 12 tribes of Israel, shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. We're going to possess all their possessions. 12 tribes of Israel. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them. That's this fire and flame will kindle in this stubble for Esau, and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Most High has spoken it. So when did that happen, people? When did that happen? That there should be not any remaining of the house of Esau, because last I read in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, and we just read, we're not going to captivity anymore. He's going to visit the sins of Esau, his lineage. So 2nd Ezra 6 and 9 in the Apocrypha says, for Esau is the end of the world. What is it saying here? Esau have to be ruling during the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now we got next. The children of Israel in a righteous kingdom. But he's not gonna allow the wicked to be on the earth or rule the earth or have any city. That's why it tells you in Isaiah 14:21. I know some of you might have a problem with all these scriptures coming out, the destruction of your oppressor or the one that you love so much and so forth, but this is what the word says. Don't get angry with me, just study it for yourself and make it be something different. You got to go through all these precepts though. Don't just give me no 1-2 precepts and say, okay, that's it. No, that's not how the Bible's written. Isaiah 14:21, prepare slaughter for his children. Why? For the iniquity of their fathers. For the wickedness of their fathers. They tell you in a minute, I didn't do it. I ain't got y'all in slavery. But it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. This is it. See? That's it. For I will rise up against them, said the Most High of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant and son and nephew, said the Most High. See? There's nothing that anyone can do to change what it is that the Most High has done. Look at Isaiah 17:12. Isaiah 17:12. Woe and destruction to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like a noise of the seas, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing light, the rushing of mighty waters among all these nations. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters. But the Most High, Wamashakashai, shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the shaft of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing before the whirlwind, some chariots coming. And behold, at evening time, trouble, and before the morning he is not. This is the portion of them that spoil us, and a lot of them that rob us. So you nations ain't getting away with nothing either. So y'all done robbed us and spoiled us. And most I say your time is up. Your time is up. Is up. So going back to Job. The 20th chapter. Verse 9 said, I also which have seen, which saw him, shall see him no more. Neither shall his place any more behold him. So that's why it says, hey, all that we have read, go over for yourself. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. On all his possessions, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. See that? Lie down in the dust means whenever you die, it's going to go right with you. And your sin is of the sin of your youth. Things you have done throughout generation after generation and generation. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, wickedness is sweet in his mouth, deceitful, lying. Though he hide it under his tongue, you don't know that I'm lying. Though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat is in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of apes, that's poisonous snakes within him, like a poisonous snake within him. Watch out, this poison snake bites you, gonna kill you. He has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Most High shall cast them out of his belly. So they say they got rich, they robbed us. Look how much money they make. If we stop spending money one day, this place probably fold. He has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Who's helping us? I mean, you look at who really cares about us? 12 tribes of Israel. We're in the bottom of the barrel, every way, shape, or form. Ain't nobody really going into the House of Representatives, to the Senate, and to the United Nations on by our behalf. What about us? What about 500 or so years of free labor? Free labor. Didn't pay nothing for us. All we got was, oh, sorry for slavery. Get out of here. That's why the payback is something else. But it happened to us because we ain't followed the laws of the Most High. So we can't say much. We ain't say he's going to do it to us. He did it to us. Everything you want to bring about is right here in the scripture. He did it to us. So now it's your turn. The nation's turn. You got an opportunity. If you have an opportunity now. The last day, you're supposed to be coming to learn these laws of the Most High. Learn what's right. What works with the Most High. But if not, then hey, go on your own. We done read through the Spirit of the Most High what's going to happen. You got your choice. Israel, you first. And then these other nations. But he's telling you wicked. He said, he hath swallowed down riches, verse 15. And he shall vomit them up again. Most High shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of apes. The viper's tongue shall slay him. Hear that? You're going to suck the poison of poison snakes, and that's going to kill you. As you think you're going to be able to take on all the wickedness and the lies and the false education, all the things that you bring before, it's going to be able, you're going to be able to continue to do it because you think you rolling with Satan. It's going to destroy you in the end. The viper's tongue shall slay you, kill you. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks, or honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore.